Yo, what's up, YouTube? This guy Brett here with another reaction to the fat electrician on what is called the toilet sink submarine. See what
Today
this
we're
is
talking
all
about the
about.
time in World War II when a German officer sank his own submarine by taking a dump. Yeah, this actually happened. But first, an ad. This video is brought to you by Warwood Tools, an American family-owned business based out of West Virginia that's been making sledgehammers and axes for over 165 years. I mean, look at this bad boy. It's a 10-pound sledgehammer made out of 1060 high-carbon steel that was forged using World War II era drop hammers. So next time somebody tells you they don't make things like they used to, just know that Warwood actually does. Back to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Type 7 German U-boat. U-boat just means underwater boat, aka it's a submarine, and the Germans just wanted to use a different name so that they could feel special. But with the Type 7 U-boat in particular, a special name just wasn't special enough. No. They also had to have a special type of toilet. You see, the Germans didn't want to use a septic tank on board for their bathrooms like literally every other submarine ever, you know, because septic tanks made sense and were convenient. I mean, they took up a lot of space and added weight, apparently. So instead, they engineered their way out of common sense and proceeded to make a toilet that would flush directly into the ocean, which honestly wasn't a terrible idea, except for the fact that you could only flush when the submarine was above water, which, as I'm sure you can tell by the name submarine, wasn't all that often. You see, when the submarine was underwater, it meant that the pressure outside of the sub was greater than the pressure in the sub, and you can't exactly flush a toilet into a higher pressure system because that's not how toilets work, because, you know, gravity and science and shit.
Yes, science!
If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that every time this submarine was underwater and one of the 50 crewmen had to take a piss or honk out a dirt snake, they had to do it into a bucket because the toilets didn't work.
Dear God. Brother. Did they say buckets? All right, little funny story here. So I used to be a part of a underground utility inspection crew where we used to go through, and they're like tiny little RC cars, and you drive them through pipes, pipes underground. Sometimes they're newly made pipes. Other times they're not freshly made pipes. So I used to drive an RC car underneath essentially into septic pipes, and we would drive. It has a camera on it, so we're sitting inside of like an RV type automobile, right? Like a big van, and we're using remote controls on an RC car that has a camera that drives through the pipes. They're usually around like 6 or 8 inch pipes, or even bigger. Like, imagine like culverts, driving through, and all of a sudden you're like halfway through the pipe and there's a big log in your way. And I don't mean well, it's natural, but not the tree kind of log. And you just gotta run full speed, ram it, run it over so you can get past it and keep on doing your inspection and everything. We're looking for cracks and other things in the pipe that would essentially leak into the outer dirt around it and everything. That's all I wanted to say. It was pretty funny. No. So we used to be in these trucks for hours, just driving through pipes and stuff like that. And me and one of my supervisors and coworkers used to be in the van for multiple hours. So we would sometimes shit and piss inside buckets. And one time we were sitting inside the van, and we had been doing our job for a couple of hours, and the supervisor, Steve, he just shout out Steve, you might see this. He was like, I gotta get into the back of this van real quick. So he goes from the front seat, flips over, starts crawling through the back. And when he does that, he knocks over our potty bucket, is what we called it. We called it the potty bucket. He knocked it over and was covered in essentially my excrements. Ew. I was laughing my fucking ass off inside, but he was so fucking mad. He was livid. He was so. Sorry, continue.
And then they just had to leave the buckets sitting out and hope they didn't spill, which is what the medical community refers to as is fucking disgusting. Enter the turd-tagonist of our story, ladies and gentlemen, U-Boat 1206. It would depart for its first war patrol ever on April 6, 1945, under the command of 28-year-old Adolf Schlitt. And Commander Schlitt's new vessel was equipped with the latest and greatest toilet technology. You see, the Germans had addressed the issue of not being able to flush underwater, and it absolutely was not by equipping a septic tank like everyone else. No, they had superior German engineering, and that's exactly what they used on their toilet, because they created a toilet that would flush into a pressure chamber that they would then pressurize to a pressure that was greater than the water pressure outside of the sub, and then they would open it and shoot the feces into the water, like a poop torpedo. They literally made a turd torpedo.
Nice.
Which honestly infuriates me on so many different levels, because
Every man wishes his turds to be used as a torpedo. Come on. I don't care what anyone says. You guys ever heard about that dude who got, I think he was trapped in an avalanche, so he'd gotten buried in snow. And he was like a special forces guy. He used his own frozen shit to chisel his way to the surface from being buried under some shit. Buried under some shit. It was an interesting story. I love it. I wish I could remember his name at the top of my head, but game got to recognize game right there. You're just like, you're buried. You can't do anything. You're like, I gotta take a shit. I'm gonna shit my pants. And then, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, you're frozen shit. You're like, you know what? I'm not that smart. I probably would have never thought of that. I would have just shat my pants and just waited to die.
Hey, they're roaming around the seven seas blowing mud all over the ocean floor, and I can't even get a plastic straw 78 years later. Look, I'm not saying I don't care about the turtles. All I'm saying is we need to come up with a compromise where I can pretend to give a shit about ocean animals while also not having a mushy straw halfway through my drink. Secondly, and probably most importantly, this toilet was so complex and it was so vital that it be used 100% correctly 100% of the time that they had to train a new crew member, and his whole job was to flush this toilet. And his job title was, and I quote, the shit man. And that, kids, is probably the best example I can give you of why commas are important, because there is a significant difference between being the shit man and being the shit man. Because one of them means that you're probably a pretty cool guy, and the other one means that all your coworkers are gonna talk to you like this.
Shitter was full!
Yeah. You checked our shitters, honey?
Okay, first of all, having a toilet be so complex that it necessitates its own career path is the brightest shining example of German engineering I've ever seen in my entire life. And secondly, it's important to remember the whole reason they did this was to save space and weight by not having a septic tank. Now, they have a new member of the crew whose whole job is to flush the toilet. He's also gonna need somewhere to live, and he's gonna have to eat food. At best, they're maybe breaking even, and to top it all off, they're also launching butt burritos at innocent turtles. This is unacceptable. Okay, so U-Boat 1206 is on its first war patrol ever. 8 days into that war patrol, Commander Schlitt has to take a shit. You can't make
You
this
really
up.
can't
So the
compare
commander goes in the
a
submarine, does what
Chipotle
he has
shit
to
to a
do, and then when
Chipotle
it comes time to
burrito because it never comes out as solid as it came in. You can't even guarantee that it's coming out of the bottom hole rather than the top hole, because Chipotle is Chipotle, and them motherfuckers will feed you fucking. Moving on.
summon the toilet guy whose whole job is to flush the toilet and nothing else. He decides, nah, if anybody's gonna launch this stink pickle at an innocent fish, it's gonna be me. Plus, I'm an officer. I'm smart. How complex could it be? Things promptly go catastrophically wrong, and the entire compartment begins filling with his own feces and seawater.
Shit everywhere. There's shit everywhere! Damn it! There's
I'm really regretting eating
Which
right now.
honestly wouldn't be the
Come
end
on,
of the
man.
world, except for the fact that this compartment was also full of high-capacity batteries for the submarine, and when high-capacity batteries are exposed to salt water, they start to release hydrogen and chlorine gas. Hydrogen being extremely flammable and chlorine gas being toxic would force the crew to immediately surface the vessel,
Deadly.
open up the hatch, and start venting the toxic fumes. And just when you think this day couldn't get any shittier, they were immediately spotted by the Royal Air Force, who began attacking them. The RAF would then critically damage U-Boat 1206, causing the entire crew to flee eventually on life rafts, where they were captured and held prisoner till the end of the war about 3 weeks later. Commander Schlitt would actually survive and live to the age of 90 when he passed away in 2009, being probably the only guy to go to the bathroom and actually blow it up. So in conclusion, I truly believe that this may be the most expensive and
Yo, where I work, we got a lot of fucking Samoans. Those motherfuckers can blow it up without even trying. They eat a lot of wasabi, however you fucking say it. The problem is, at my building, they ain't got no fans, they ain't got no vents, they ain't got no windows in any of the bathrooms. We got 8 different bathrooms, not one of them has a vent. At the very least, a fucking window. That shit should be, that should be a crime against humanity. When you got, oh my God, when you got fucking big ass Samoans dropping deuces, and they're all like 250, 300 pound fucking 6'4" motherfuckers that eat nothing but ass wasabi all day. Like, yeah, all I eat is rice, seaweed, and fucking Spam and other fried shit. Not other, but they eat fried shit too. It's just so bad. It's so bad. It's offensive. You'll walk in the bathroom and turn right around and walk out and be like, no, thank you. Nope. I will hold it for the rest of the day. Because you would rather do that. You'd rather suffer for a 10-hour shift than spend 15 seconds in that bathroom taking a whiz. That's how fucking disgusting it is. It's freaking terrible. The worst. Crime against humanity. I should be able to report them to HR for cruelty or harassment just based off the smell. And the company should be sued for no vents and no windows. Just saying.
consequential bowel movement in human history, and if it's not, I need you to let me know in the comments what actually is. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang.
Yo,
out.
go check this guy out. He has, oh shit, no, check this out right here. Let me move this. Check out the Black Swallow at Death, Eugene Bollard. I watched him a couple weeks ago. I'll tell you what, this guy's fucking gangster. He was an aviation guy that had a fucking monkey in an aviator jacket and aviator glasses, sunglasses. This dude's fucking cool as fuck. Like gangster. Oh, like original gangster type shit. Check out this story. I'm not going to review this one or react to it because there's not much to say about it. But the story is so good. It's just like, oh my God, this guy is fucking amazing. But I will sum it up a little bit. Essentially, born in Atlanta, if I remember correctly, didn't like that it was racist in America, decided I'm going to be a stowaway and go to France, then joins the French army. And tries to work for a citizenship and just turns out to be a total badass. And then like he gets out of the military, starts his own bar, does his own cool shit. Dude, just watch the fucking thing. It's so cool. That's all I gotta say. Everybody have a good night. Peace.